recording. Okay.
Okay, and I'll say as a disclaimer, I'm embarrassed of this footage. I know for a fact I can do a lot better than this footage, and that's also why I feel like it's good because it's a lot of like my shittiest habits,
Yeah.
and like
I
it's a lot of
mean, yeah.
ah,
I
it's hurt.
definitely think you shouldn't worry too much about that. Like, I mean, I know, aside from like, everyone always feeling like they can do better, I'm always like a strong proponent of like, even if you feel like, oh, like, I played like pretty shitty, like compared to my average, it's like still, it's still helpful no matter like what you get analyzed. Cause it's like, if you're like, oh, this is my average skill, then we can talk about like, what goes wrong or right on average. And then if we look at something where you think you play really well, then we'd be like, oh, this is what you do when you play really well. It's like, it's like how can you aim to like kind of reach this more consistently? And then if it's stuff like where you're like, oh, it's really bad, then we can also like it's obviously also good to like kind of improve your floor. And also on top of
Yeah,
that, it's like honestly, uh whenever I play, uh, and then if I go back and watch it because I want to show someone something, I always think that I look bad and I'm always really embarrassed. So I think that's like kind of like a natural state of being, where you're
that's
just
true.
like, oh my god, I am so awful and slow.
Yeah, and I will say the videos are kind of washes. That it's unfortunate. I was trying to do some good stuff, but I didn't really get anything good off in the sets, which it's unfortunate, but it's
Yeah,
how it
it
goes.
sucks, but yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of like I guess to give you like the status on my playing Marth lately. It's like that's kind of how it goes. It's like most of the time I get pooped on, and then every now and then I'll do like some really cool stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, like I can do some stuff with this character. But then like that's like every 10 games or something, like
Okay, yeah, I mean, but at least getting it 1 in 10 is pretty nice. We'll see if we can get that number lower, right? And then maybe
True.
you'll do like one good thing every game. That would if I did one good thing every game, I would be so happy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just like one moment where you're like, all right, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, so as a heads up, so usually the way I like to kind of do this is I like to kind of go through the first game and just watch like the whole first game top to bottom and just like without any pauses or breaks just to kind of see like what are we working with, get a general idea of what you're looking at, because I really
Gotcha.
don't want to end up in a situation where it's like we end up pausing in like the first 15 seconds and then I'm talking about something that it's like that I like spend forever talking about one thing, and then later I'm like, oh, actually, compared to these other things that I see, like this is like
Right.
way not important, right?
That
So
makes sense.
yeah, so what usually, and I ripped this from Drug Fox, is I like to go through the first game, like I said, and just kind of watch it top to bottom without any breaks. And then you can watch it with me. And then at the end of it, we'll go back to the beginning of it, and then we'll talk about like what each of us saw. If you talk about like, yeah, like I was missing a lot of text, for example, or my DI wasn't
Right.
right, and then we can talk about kind of like what we think went wrong. Then we can go through the game and look at those spots, or look at other things that went wrong and say, because like a lot of times you feel like one thing went wrong and you go back and watch it and it's just like actually like it happened like one time and it was all these other things that fucked you up and you just didn't remember.
Hmm. Right. And I'm definitely down to get more like conceptual too about like Marth in general, just because like a lot of times I feel like I'm still like fumbling to figure out like what you're even supposed to do it a lot of times. So a
Yeah, I
lot of
hear
times
you.
I'll just like forward air. Like I think that's something to look out for is I'll just like anytime I feel like I don't know what to do, I'll just like forward air. And I've been trying to down tilt more. That's something that I didn't do a lot in this footage, I think, but I've been trying to down tilt. But like, yeah, I think in this footage you just see a lot of like forward air, forward air.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. Especially like coming from a place of like you used to main Falco, it's probably just like
True,
jumping
like
feels a lot
having a
more
thing out.
natural. Yeah. All right. So let's see if we can. Is it gonna play? Hello. Where is it? It's not playing. It hates me. All right. We'll try again. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm Black Marth. Obviously, you probably know that.
Okay. Good to keep in mind.
Ah, he crouch canceled that, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Ah, the dash attack. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, the forward air.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Ah, the mistags. Yeah, that's true. Keep rolling.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember being like, oh, I played that wrong. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
a.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I was just standing there. Ooh. That was just sweet spot, right?
Yeah, he tempered you for sure. It was like, yeah, you kind of missed your recovery. A lot of times because you're like double jumping really early.
That makes sense. Yeah, I finally started down tilt.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about it. What do you think? What do you think were like the biggest problems? You know, have you like rewatched this or given a lot of thought to these games?
I've watched it a good bit. Yeah, I've watched it a few times. I feel like part of it is like it feels like my confusion comes from like it feels like I try to do like what's right, quote unquote, like the mythical, like what is the correct option, and then it's like it's too static. So I'm like, oh, like he keeps hitting me with these forward airs. So then I'm like, let me forward air him, and then end up like only forward airing for like a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it really hard to like, especially against Marth, to like get in meaningful hits without him just like countering the situation.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
And
Yeah,
I
the Marth
think,
Ditto can kind of be like that sometimes.
yeah, for sure. I think, yeah, and a lot of it is like in these games, it sucks because I felt like I was having trouble getting started, like with the game plan. But then I guess that's like the failing of the game plan in of itself is like to not protect yourself. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times I just like show my hand early. Like I'm playing a lot of card games, and like it's like you get a good card, you got to hold on to it for a
Mm-hmm.
little while. Sometimes, like sometimes you play it right away, sometimes you hold on to it. It's like I play it every time in melee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So kind of what I was thinking is that like well the first thing like kind of what we are talking about with your like oh like I struggle a lot with like trying to do what I think is the right thing. I think like trying to do like quote unquote the right thing is I mean obviously that's good, but I also want to like discourage you from thinking that like because you know a lot of people think this way and they say like oh like this matchup can only be played in this way or this character can only be played in this way, and I think
Right.
that's like kind of true about like really shitty characters, right? Like if you made like Ganondorf, it's like you probably don't have a choice but to play around the platforms, you know, like you just
Yeah.
have to because well, because Ganondorf sucks, and that's the only thing that he's like good at. So like he doesn't have a choice. But, you know, Martha's like a good ass character, and so like I don't think there's like such a thing as like oh you must play this way. I think like the only like to me like the only hard and fast rule is like you should try to pick the best option to beat whatever option you think they're going to pick, you know? So like people will tell you it's like, "Oh, you're supposed to like use a lot of down tilt in this matchup. Well, you know, if they
Yeah,
like
that's what I was trying to do. I was like, do I only dash dance down to like what do I? Yeah, like that's what I was confused about.
yeah, and like, you know, they say that there's a reason for it. You know, down tilt's really good in the matchup, but you know, they say that for a reason. You know, it's because down tilt does a good job of doing things, but down tilt also loses to other things, right? So, for example, you know, if you're spamming down tilt a lot, then it's very vulnerable to people like jumping over it. Like if you try to down tilt
Mhm.
and like they jump over it and nair you, right? Then you just get hit. And so it's like kind of like trying to stick too much to that rule instead of like trying to pick options that will beat the option that you think your opponent will pick, kind of leads to that kind of like, well, you know, I'm down tilting and then I keep losing because like he keeps jumping. So, you know, just try to keep that in mind. That being said,
Right.
I also think like kind of like what you were talking about before we watched it, like you know, you're like using a lot of fair. And I think fair is fine, but I think a lot of it also has to do kind of with the way you were using fair. So you kind of like do a lot of options just kind of like full forward. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then
for
like,
sure,
yeah,
for sure.
as we go through this, then as we go through it, I'll show you the spots where you're going full forward, and then I'm sure you'll also be able to notice them pretty quickly once I point out one or two. Marth is kind of like a character that, you know, he's really, really, really powerful whenever he's not going full forward, and then he kind
Mm.
of like leverages that into like, and he kind of like leverages his strengths as a character who's good at moving backwards, and a character who's like kind of like doing moves in place to like get his opponent to respect that space so that he can move forward.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so like kind of like doing stuff in place is more of like a level, or slightly backwards is more of like a level one thing. And then once you get them to start being like, okay, like, you know, they know how to move backwards or how to do things in place, and they start trying to play around that, that's when you can start getting forward on them. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
show you a few spots of like kind of what I mean.
Oh, just got comboed right off the gate.
Yeah, that has to do with your DI, right? That was a
Yeah.
good down air.
Wait, is there like a quick moment where you can tell me like one moment where I could have like DI'd a slightly different way or something? Because it's like sometimes when I see moments like that, I'm just like, it just happens, and I'm just like, oh shit! Like,
Yeah, totally. So check out right at
okay,
the
I did a
beginning.
forward air and got forward aired.
So whenever he forward air grabs you here, you were holding in, probably because you were dashing in.
Hmm.
And then that's what lets him get this grab. And then this is the in DI again on the forward throw. Because, you know, he went pretty fast. This is like a common thing, especially in this matchup, to like throw your opponent real fast. And then if they don't react quickly enough to getting grabbed, then, you know, you get a forward air or a neutral air or a forward smash or even a down air if they're holding in.
Right.
So like this forward air works because you're holding in, and
Had 2 seconds have gone by.
yeah,
Good
and you're
lord.
holding in again there
Ah,
normally,
yeah,
and then
you're right.
that's
I was just
also
holding
in.
forward.
Yeah, so you know, whether you realize it or not, you did end up holding in a lot, like right out the gate,
Yeah, and
and then
also
you had
I
some good
will.
DI, and then you
This
get some
isn't.
good DI on this move right here. Yeah, that forward air you had good DI.
Is that hold away?
Yeah, you managed to hold away on that one.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, just like as a slight caveat, one thing I'll notice is my box DI is very questionable at the current time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the things that probably will come up a lot if something I'm screwing up. So it's like I'm definitely down to like always analyze like the better option on that, because it's definitely something that I'm like really bad at on box currently.
Yeah, okay, I hear you. Yeah, and you want to DI down and away on Mars moves usually, like including fair,
Mm.
not just straight away.
Down there. Oh man, he couch cancels that one.
Yeah, so the reason why he was able to crouch cancel this, just as a side note, I actually really like this down air, is because you you just misspaced it. So you see if you got, so normally, like, you know, if it tippers, it spikes them so they can't crouch it.
Ah, so that's when he would get. I've done the tumble thing.
Yeah, so right here you didn't tipper it, so he was able to crouch cancel it, and that's what happened
Hmm.
there.
Okay, so it wasn't just like crouch cancel because the move. Yeah, that makes sense. It's like actually spaced right.
Yeah, you actually ended up picking an anti-crouch cancel option, but so it was like a good option, I think. But it just like your execution was slightly wrong, right? And then Melee's kind of a game like that, where it's just like
Mm,
sometimes you have the right idea, but when you do it wrong, you still get blown up.
right.
So yeah,
Ah, the forward air,
yeah,
holding forward.
yeah. So that's the first instance, right? And you're able to recognize too, where it's like the problem isn't so much that you did a forward air, it's that you kind of did a forward air like all the way like this. And Martha's super easy
Yeah.
to whiff punish whenever he's like charging full forward like this. And you also kind of like the way you do it makes it easier because not only going forward, you aren't really fast falling either, right?
Right. That's like the double. That's like the double fair, like lazy double fair setup.
Yeah, it's like you were trying to double fair. So you weren't fast falling and you did it really early and you did going full forward. So that makes it really easy to whiff punish. Whereas, if you had like kind of stopped here instead and then just like jumps up straight in place, you see what I'm saying? Then it would be a
Yeah.
lot more difficult for him to do because like say you jump up straight here and to be fair, he probably reacted to you coming in here to dash back. That's why I believe he did. But can you imagine if like he had like moves backwards and you had still been jumping here, that you could have like definitely stopped him from getting a grab. Like there's no way he was gonna get to you in time to whiff punish you.
God. Oh yeah, because be way farther away.
That was a good reaction here to him charging the smash. I like that.
Run away. Down tilt the other way. I don't know what I was trying to do. I think I was trying to up tilt him.
And this is kind of good
Maybe.
examples. Like everyone does this full forward thing sometimes. Like Rand's doing it right now. You see?
Yeah, and I got out of the way, but then I didn't. Looks like I
Yeah.
didn't
So
work
you
this
actually didn't get the punish, right? So this is kind of like I think this is a
time.
good
Ow,
example of something that you were maybe like getting caught up in, like what's the right thing to do instead of doing things to punish them. Let me see if we can get back. So right here, and then
the fourth.
right here. So right here, he nares you, and then you go backwards here, and then I guess like somewhere in your head, you're like, I'm supposed to be down tilting, and then you try to down tilt, and then you end up down tilting the wrong way. But it's kind of also just like, why are we down tilting?
Yeah.
Because you think about down tilt, like you don't really get a big reward off of down tilt here, right? Like most of the time when you down tilt somebody, then you just like have to like guess again, right? So there's a lot of times you'll get like down tilt grab or you'll get like down tilt forward smash, but none of that stuff is real.
Yeah, true. I think this is the one where I go for a dash attack, and the down tilt one was one before. Maybe.
Yeah, so you tried to dash attack here. So was this dash attack like meant to be a dash attack, or were you trying to do something
So
else?
I think because he's at that percent where like the tipper of it like kind of pops him up if he holds in, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's part of the problem is my game plan is a lot of times I'll fish for these little like combo setups because that's all I know right now is like getting these little like nice little combos if they DI the bat like the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So then I find that I'll like be like, okay, if I can just get this one dash attack, but then I'm like way too close to him, I guess.
So what I'm thinking here is like you could have totally just grabbed him instead, right?
Yeah, true.
Like you see how he lands right in front of your face after missing? Like this could have just been a grab, right? And a lot of times like the grab is really like what you want. It's like kind of like your combo starter of choice. You go for a grab. Dash attack actually does. I agree, it does like make sense. But you whiff it, which tells me so it's like so here's another question. When you put over dash attack, you see your dash attack hitbox is right here.
Ah, true. That's
But
like
that-
way too close.
Yeah, exactly. But that's also the distance that he jumped in from, right? So like either you thought that he would be like jumping in place, or you just like missed your move.
But I thought that it'd be further potentially.
Okay. So let's talk
Or
about that.
I also might have just underestimated Marth's like long dash attack. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's such a burst option. I forgot that it like goes so far.
Yeah. So this
I
brings
always
up
try to forward smash the miss tag. So lazy.
Yeah, so that brings up another thing that, and this is something Drug Fox talks a lot about, and it's something that most people are not very good at. It is called looking at the screen.
Yeah. I've watched a good bit of his videos, and it's so true. I'm so bad at looking at the screen, actually. Like I'm the classic example of that. Where I'm just like, well, if the simulation plays out like I think it should, and then it doesn't, and I don't react.
Yeah, and this is a really good example of like, you were saying it's like, oh, I thought he was going to be farther back. But so much time has passed where you can like, so I want to look at this. So like right here is where he jumps and he's going full forward, right? And you're dash attacking kind of right here. So
Yeah.
like at this point, you had enough time to wave dash forward and then wave dash back, or you were wave dashing forward and you had enough time to wait to see, oh, he's coming, and you wave dash back, but you still tried to dash attack over here, right? So you weren't really paying attention to like where he was going
Mm.
to end up. So if you had been looking at the screen, right, then you would be like, oh, he's going to be right here, and then I can try to punish it, right? But you were kind of like, oh, like I really want this dash attack, so you kind of stopped looking at the screen for a second, and that's what led to that whiff.
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's that perfect angle to where like it can kind of pop them up into the right a little bit. Like I feel like there was just so much juice in my brain of like this could happen. That's my story with Bar so far. Is like, let me get this awesome thing, and like, yeah, and then I die or
Yep.
something.
So what I really do encourage you to do is like try to like pay attention, like pay more close attention to what is your opponent actually doing, because that is it's really hard actually, but I think stuff like that would end up helping you a pretty significant amount, because it's just like then stuff like that doesn't happen to you, right?
That makes sense. Yeah, this whole scenario makes a lot of sense as you're breaking it down. Like I never would have thought of it this way watching it myself. Like I would have thought, oh, I just did that too close or something.
Yeah.
Never would have thought, just grab.
Yeah, so it's also just, yeah, it's kind of like not just like just grab, but also just like looking at where he's going to end up. So like you
But
could
yeah,
you
because
could
of the
dash attack,
situational
but it's just
awareness.
like the placement has to do with like you paying attention to where he's going to be, right?
Right.
Which it's this wasn't a situation where you had to guess, and we know that because you totally already wave dash back on reaction to him starting to jump in. So you did react, but then you were kind of like also just like you like half reacted, and then you were just like also not paying attention.
Yeah, sometimes I find that I'll get a good like dash dance punish or like wave dash punish where it's like it's questionable if I actually was like ready for it, and it's more of like, oh well, dash back is a really good option, so I'm gonna just do the dash back or wave dash back because it's a really good option. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying this necessarily maybe was that, but in my head I'm like it could have been that for sure. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, okay, I've been getting hit. Like I just ran in, maybe I just wave dash back, and like he happened to nair in. Like that's definitely a potential. And then like me doing the dash attack is like, oh, like I'm scrambling to do it now that I'm like, oh, it worked. Like,
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, it's you really want to try to be like honest with yourself about what, whenever I got this dash back punish or I got this wave dash back punish, what was I thinking? It was like, did I like guess right? Did I get lucky? Or it's like, is it because, I reacted? And that's like all something to think about. I'm not saying that you shouldn't guess, because I definitely think guessing is like an important and good thing to do in a lot of spots. But for something like this, it's just like that will inform like a lot of decisions that you make, and you have to kind of decide, am I doing this right? Am I doing things because am I getting things because I got lucky with it, or did I do something right? And if I did something right, what did I do right?
that makes sense. Okay, and then it misses. And I just forward smash him in the
Yeah,
face.
and this is the
Ah,
same
the
kind of
dash attack
thing,
again.
right? And this dash attack is basically the same thing as the forward air. Like you literally didn't forward air, you did a different move, but like this kind of same thing where you're just like going full super forward. And this is, I think, in my opinion, this feels like another like not really paying attention moment, because so Martha is over here, and then you dash attack right here as if he's still going to be here.
Yeah, true. Right here is exactly where my brain is like, oh, get that juicy dash attack or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so much time in between you being over here and your dash attack finally hitting over here that when you dash attack there, like he's already all the way over here, right? So this is
Right.
a situation where you have to be trying to pay attention and trying to react to what he's doing, you know? Like we were talking about watching what Rand is doing in this spot because he moved forward over here and because you just like YOLO dash attacked, you stopped paying attention to where he was, then he gets to punish you with this down air.
Ooh, and that's a juicy down air too. Wow. Could I have tech that first down air? Is that a thing or?
Uh you could have arms attacked it, but just like regular tech it probably not.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
I always go for full hop. I'll say I always go for as my punish like full hop, like forward air or something. Because I don't know, like when they're on the platforms for some reason, I always like auto go to that because like gets juicy stuff sometimes. It's like it looked like it didn't. It put me in a bad spot, kind of.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's just kind of like mix ups. So you're talking about like that situation? Do you full hop on purpose here or not?
Um,
This seems like an
that looks
accident
like
to me.
it looks like it would probably be a short hop. No,
Yeah.
but there it was earlier. It was earlier where I tried to neutral air him on the platform,
Uh
and
huh.
he like was just a million miles away, and then I was just like double jumping randomly away from him, and it just looked like a moment where I was like, ah. It was another like not watching the screen moment, I guess I could say.
Yeah. So already we're seeing a lot of moments where it's like we're not like watch the screen or paying as much attention as we could be.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just hoping I can get this haymaker into like rehearsed combos or something.
Yeah. Which is like, you know, the rehearsed combos are like, I mean, they're like obviously a really fun part. And I do think like your combos should be rehearsed. So that part is good. But, you know, you just can't be like, uh, you have to know when you're actually going to get the starter or not, basically.
Yeah, true.
And so, like, this forward air is another thing where you just, like, kind of went full forward. This is the same situation where you just, like, went full forward with the full hop, and then, you know, you did another forward air and you just dashed back and punished you. Because, and, you know, this ties into what I was talking about, like, oh, you just go full forward a lot, and makes it a lot easier to punish. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely see it because a lot of times, like with Marth, I'll get to or like with especially in this footage to where it's just like it's like I said, I'm trying to force the haymaker, and so I think holding forward is like a symptom of that. Of like, well, if I can just get this one hit, then it'll be even stocks. Like blah blah blah.
Yeah, you still have to, like, actually play the game in between the
Yeah.
punishes.
Right. Right. Ah, and he just grabs.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know what my mindset is there. I don't know what my like flowchart is there.
Yeah, it seems like you don't really have a plan on what you're supposed to do whenever the other person's off the stage.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
yeah,
say that's accurate.
yeah. It seemed like you weren't really ready to edge guard, but I want to talk about your recovery here, where you like double jump super duper early. I mean, this is like I understand, but I still think you double jump too early because once you get right here, basically with Marth, your double jump is your life.
Hmm.
And if you use your double jump early like this, then it makes it super, super easy once you get right here because he sees you double jumped and you don't have a choice but to just like drift in, get hit by this back here, and die.
That makes sense. He didn't even have to like guess there. He just was ready and
Yeah.
could just see what happened.
So recovery with Marth, a lot of it is like I would say like two rules that are would be good for you to start with are, you know, try to have good survival DI whenever you get hit off stage. And two, like hold on to your double jump for, you know, basically as long as you can hold on to it, because, you know, like we just saw, whenever you use your double jump early like that, you know, it gets really really easy to track your recovery after the double jump. And so yeah, your double jump is your life. Don't, you know, don't use it like too eagerly.
That makes sense. That's a PPU classic. I feel like I always remember that from his footage. Is that like he always, no matter how much like he got hit, he always seems to have it when he's down there, and it's
Yep.
like, oh, he lives for it. Like a lot of the times, it's like crazy.
Yeah, the double jump actually just like makes the timings and the like areas that you're allowed to be at, like it widens your range of recovery so much.
Right. Wait. Okay. How did I get hit? Did I just try to attack him again?
Yeah, so you
Yeah,
tried to
the
dash
stupid dash
attack, right?
attack.
So you tried dash
Yeah.
attack again.
What am I even gonna get off that at 130?
And that also brings up like a good point of like kind of, you're like watching this, you're like, wait, how did I get hit? You know, even when and that kind of like demonstrates like even whenever you're watching like a replay or VOD, it can be pretty hard to watch the screen, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because it just kind of I didn't even notice the dash attack start up.
Yeah, and it's important for you to be able to know know like the answers to these questions because you don't want to be taking the wrong idea. Like if you thought that you were like that you weren't dash attacking, he just like fared into you, then you might like have the wrong takeaway from the situation. So an exercise I kind of recommend to practice this is just like whenever you see a moment like this is a raw neutral exchange being won, just
Yeah.
back up the replay for 5 seconds and then try to, or not even 5 seconds, honestly like 3 seconds, 2 seconds would be fine, and try to like and then watch it back and then back it up again and then try to like describe what happened on the screen whenever that led to that interaction, right? So if you were like, oh, I did something really stupid and then I got hit for it, that's not the right way to describe it, because like that doesn't actually describe anything. You want to be
Right.
like very literal about what's happening on the screen. So I would say, it's like uh the Black Marth player tried to space like drift back fair, and then without a fast fall, and then the Red Marth player was across the stage underneath the side platform, and the Black Marth player decided to dash attack in the middle of the stage and got punished by the Red Marth player doing an early short hop fair in from underneath the side platform. Try to be like
That
as
makes sense.
descriptive as that, and then that will
Yeah.
help you like if you practice that, then you'll be able to see it during replays, and it will also help you like understand like what's hitting you in game, because a lot of times, especially whenever you're still like comprehending inputs and stuff, a lot of it is just like, well, I don't know what I got hit with, but I got hit by a lot of shit and then I died.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
very hard to
That-
learn from I got hit by a lot of shit and died.
True. See. Just fishing. Oof. I always come down with a hitbox.
And then you
I was like,
see, yeah, and you see that you double jumped again really early here.
mm,
Whereas like you could have kept dropping low, and then if you had like still had your double jump at this point, then you could have like sweet spotted the ledge with your double jump below this forward smash. But because you
gotcha.
had
Is there?
already double jumped, then you just get hit by this.
So is that inescapable? So since I didn't have the double jump, is that inescapable of a forward smash, or could I have spaced that?
You probably could have spaced it, but the other issue is that you were just holding in the whole time. So it's like, so like right here, you're just holding straight left as you're recovering. But so let's
Yeah.
look at this up B, right? Just like, so you up B like up to right here. You also went higher than you needed to, but it's just like if you think about it, you're up B. Like if you had up B from like down over here, you also could have made it and been fine. So you were just kind of like holding straight in on
I
your
drifted too
recovery.
far.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
which is another like benefit of holding onto your double jump, because if you hold onto your double jump for a long time, then you can kind of like not drift in so close so that they can't hit you easily like this, but then you can still like double jump forward at the end to get closer to the ledge if you need to.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. You just slice. I'm just trying to do the four. That's one that I hate because it's like that's not. It doesn't even feel like a very legitimate kill. It was just like, yeah, I Hail Mary didn't work.
Yeah, I mean it happens sometimes. So this is actually like a much more balanced interaction where you're like actually, you aren't committing as much, and you see how he's kind of like doing the same thing though, where he's like kind of like waiting for you to dash in like you did the other stocks. But
Yeah.
whenever you don't really give it to him here, which is better. The only thing is that like now it feels a lot of the time in this interaction you're again like getting your head about like, oh, like what am I supposed to do, and not like getting what happened here. So for example, he does this forward air, and then you like dash to back. But with this forward air, I think if you were like paying attention to the screen, so like let's look at this forward air. You're right here, and then his forward air is like going right here. Let's say he'd like double fair, so maybe it goes to here. There's like no way this forward air ever hits you, right? Is
Mm.
what I'm saying. But you're definitely in range to where you could have punished him. You could have run in and then gotten a grab, or you could have hit him with a dash attack or whatever. I recommend grab here. But the point is like this was a whiff punishable forward air that you could have punished, right? But
Yeah. So I wasn't ready to grab it because I was so busy like trying to do the right stuff in the corner.
right. But instead, because you were like kind of thinking about, oh, what should I be doing instead of watching him, you dashed back here, which means you gave up your opportunity for a punish, and then you didn't get another opportunity for neutral interaction because he grabbed you, because he
He
just
just killed
like
me.
wanted the next one.
Did he just kill me here? Oh man, I
Yeah,
held
you had
away.
bad DI. You had so it wasn't just holding away. I mean, you had like the bad DI on the forward smash, but like this grab doesn't have to combo into fourth. This fourth throw doesn't have to combo into forward smash. Like
Mm.
you didn't start holding out early enough. You have to hold down and out on Marth's throw way earlier than you think you do, because he'll throw you pretty quickly. So you have to recognize that you're about to get grabbed and start DIing appropriately so you don't get hit by the follow up.
That makes sense. I didn't know the down and away thing. That's good. That's good to know.
Yep.
I know that for Falcon, but not for Marth.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
That tipper, and I think I just die. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, this game's a lot more of a blow up. Spoiler alert.
That's okay.
I felt good at first, and then he just like runs away with these little interactions. Oh, that moment I was like, that was a reel in my chair moment for sure. So I'm trying to analyze this because it's hard to like really. I just held in again on the forward throw.
Yep. And then you're probably gonna see like, based on the way you described it, I would guess that you're gonna see that a lot. So you really, really need to fix your DI on the forward throw.
Yeah, I think this is the last percent I get on him for like maybe the whole game.
Yeah. So you're DIing in.
Ah, that was the same exact situation, wasn't it?
You used your
Ah,
double
yeah,
jump early and held in. So the good
yeah,
thing is that like based off of like all this time that we talked about the previous game, you can kind of see the same situations repeating themselves.
that's true. That's true. I was like concerned at first. I was like, how are we only this far in? But it's like it's a lot of just the same stuff, like double jumping right away, not DIing the forward throws, maybe just holding forward too much, and
Yep.
not like punishing properly and watching the screen.
So it's like, it's good that you can recognize these things for yourself already.
Okay, here's a question. Go back a little bit if you don't mind. To where I'm on the ledge, right here. What do you think is the good course of action to like get yourself out of there in that situation?
Well,
Like,
it's
let's say
a
I properly grabbed it or whatever, didn't get killed, or he could have killed me there, but
so it's just a tough situation. Martha's really good at punishing himself for being on the ledge. You just have a variety of options you can do, and you just have to mix it up. So you can stall, you can ledge dash forward. You won't be intangible, but you can still do it. You can ledge dash straight down. You can regular stand. You can no impact land. I would not aerial here because the other Marth player is way too close. I would probably
Mm,
just try to wave land straight down. Get up and wave land straight down in this situation.
that makes sense for sure.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I needed to add that in.
getting off the ledge is pretty tough in this matchup. But yeah, you just have to understand what all your mix ups are. And if you want to see those mix-ups, then you could just like watch other Marth players play the Marth Ditto and just like steal their options. I think that's like the easiest way to like figure out new options to do, and just like be like, oh, this Marth player does this, I'm gonna steal that, and then you just practice it a bunch.
So does Marth get Galent, or
Uh,
does he not get any Galent?
he can get up to 4, which means
Oh,
most of
okay,
the time you won't get many, you won't get any, but like he can get up to 4.
that's cool. It's good to know, I guess. Okay, yeah, and then he just hits me, like you said, he's too close. Oh, and he just walks forward. And for once, I got him with the no mix-up, but then he just kills me. How did I end up just dying there? Did he just like hit me jumping or something?
Yeah,
We can,
you
it's
tried to
fine.
you tried to double jump back on with fair, and you got down tilted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so again, that would be related to kind of like the exercise we talked about, where you go back and watch the last 3 seconds or whatever, so that you can describe what happened.
Yeah, and then so the Dr. Mario set also kind of a wash, which was unfortunate because I felt like I had him skill wise, and then I kept like it felt like neutral wise it felt a lot better, but then I don't know, he just like ran away with it, and I kept getting spot dodge down smashed.
Mm-hmm.
I distinctly remember that.
Yeah, I know Soup. He does spot dodge and roll a lot, and he does down smash a lot. Um, yeah, this is like something that's like, in my opinion, it's like it's pretty tough to deal with for a while, because Marth is like a character who gets blown up by spot dodge really easily if you're not looking out for it.
That's been the story of my life lately. I was actually meaning to ask. That was on my list to ask you about is how to because you can just neutral air, right? Or like wait, or even just like wait a second.
Yeah, usually waiting is like the thing to do, but like waiting is like kind of like you have to, if you're going to punish spot dodge with wait, then you have to get a sense of like when they like to spot dodge, or when they even can spot dodge or not. So it's just like, and you could neutral air because it lasts the longest, but it's just like you don't always get a lot off of it. It's okay. So yeah, I mean, spot dodge is just like very strong against Marth, which is why people spam it a lot, and why if you want to play Marth, then you have to like kind of, and I wish I had a better answer for you, but you kind of have to like have enough experience and competence to like figure out and when they're going to spot dodge, and just play around it, because
That makes
like
sense.
a lot of the times, if you're just a little bit slow and it's not going to be a true punish, then they'll just buffer a spot dodge, and then you can do an extra dash dance and grab it. A lot
Mm.
of it has to do with just like, oh, I know he's going to spot dodge here, so I'm going to grab it. So I'm gonna wait for him to spot dodge and then punish him afterwards.
Yeah, that
Uh,
makes sense.
the tough spot is like, you may also feel a lot of times like, well, what if he doesn't spot dodge? He just hits me. The answer to that is, well, then you just get hit, which doesn't feel like a good answer, or like it doesn't. It's not like a comforting answer, but I think it's an important answer, and I think like an important thing related to that is like, if you were wrong and you get hit because you thought he was going to spot dodge and he doesn't, then like that's okay. Like really, it's okay to be wrong sometimes. It's just like
Just
it's
part of the
okay
mix
to
up.
get hit. Yeah, it's like you just accept that it's like sometimes they outguess you, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be willing to like read a spot dodge in that spot. It's just like sometimes you're wrong, and you shouldn't like hate on yourself because you are wrong. It's just like it's literally just some shit that happens. But you do have to
Yeah, it's
figure
true.
out when they might spot dodge.
I think a lot of that is like the mystery of Melee for me right now is like it's one thing to press the buttons and it's one thing to know the combos and everything, but then there's like the whole idea of like nothing's ever always the correct answer, and like even within a given match, like just in like a moment of like even if something worked in that situation, it's not always going to work in that. So it's just like I've been struggling to know like when like yeah, let's say like I'm waiting for the spot dodge, and then it's like, well, if they do something about that, then it's like a whole nother layer. So yeah, it's like that. I think that's where I'm like a little stuck at the moment.
Yeah, you just have to be willing to like, a lot of times in spot dodge situations where they can spot dodge, you just have to be willing to bet on if they will or not,
Yeah.
and you act appropriately. And then, as you play more, you will. I mean, I guarantee you that you'll start to get a better sense of like when players are likely to go for some sort of spot dodge thing and then punish you out of it.
I think it's starting to make sense because a lot of times if I'll dash dance grab somebody, that's like literally they'll spot dodge because they know I'm gonna do it like the instant timing.
Yeah, exactly. So then at that point you could do a little faster dash dance, or you could like do an extra dash dance, so on and so forth.
Right. Ah, that stupid dash attack always gets me into trouble.
Yeah, I would say like probably cut out the dash attack for now.
Okay. Oh, that was great. See, and it felt like things were going a little bit right here, and then I just jumped into his forward smash. Yeah, and then he just started doing things right. It's like I was poking him and stuff, but then he just started doing stuff right. I keep full hopping. That's exactly what I was talking about, where I full hop to try to get a juicy punish, and he's way out of there.
I honestly think it's still going pretty okay.
Oh, and I kept getting hit by that up B. I was really bad at
there. Yeah.
Ooh. He kept scaring me with that forward smash. Okay. Marth's small shield I need to get used to. I usually don't even get that much off the dash attack. It's like I don't know what I think I'm getting off that at 120.
That makes sense.
Yeah, why do I keep doing that? Like, what am I even getting off that? Okay, rolled in.
That's good.
Oh yeah, I die here. Oh, so
like this, like a lot of spots where it's like you're getting him to whiff, you're getting him to spot dodge. He looks really dumb until he hits you and you die. So it's just like
right.
At this point, it's just like, I mean, let's be real. Like through all this left right, like you could have already grabbed him or punished him, right? After that, you could have already punished him. But this is what I always tell people: is just like instead of trying to like blow people's minds, you should just try to hit them.
Right. I think I got into a little bit of too much of a moment of that of like keep swinging, mother. Yeah, I should have just grabbed him or something at that point. But then he was ready to spot dodge.
Yeah, it is just like too late because like this is also what happens a lot of time whenever you like take too long. It's just like, in my opinion, the longer you stay in this kind of like weird like spot dodgy like button mashy scrappy situations, the worse it is for Marth. So like I think like on the first whiff, you should just like the first whiff where you can get a punish, just go get the punish.
That makes sense. I kept waiting for like the perfect opening, and I guess the forward smash was probably it.
Yeah, like I don't know like what exactly you thought you were waiting for, but yeah, this is like a good spot where a good example of just like, I mean, you were just like trying to blow his mind instead of kill him.
That's a good way to put it. Because I think I also looked away. I think I was also having a moment where I was like, "This is the dash dancing you're supposed to do," and then I like looked. I was like, not even reaping the reward.
Yeah, and like the first two dash dances were really good, and then like you just didn't get anything, so it's like kind of wasted, right?
Yeah. Okay. Kept dash backing the pills. I was like, I don't know a better way to deal with this, so I was kind of treating them like turnips a little bit.
You can hit him, but I like what you were doing. I generally like how you've been handling the pills.
How does it kill me here? Okay. Oh yeah, I have such bad get up options.
Yeah, so right here was another whiff punish opportunity that you missed. Look here.
Could I have just grabbed? I should have just grabbed.
You could turn around and grab here, or you could turn around and fared. But it's like,
yeah.
So it looks like you're kind of like, so a lot of the ways you try to get your openings is like you build it off of like dashing back and then dashing forward and then like getting like a tip or fair off of your jump forward. It looks like that's the way you build a lot of your punishes. But the problem with this is like you just don't have time for it always, right? Like if you were going to do the dash back in fair punish, you needed to already be dashing back in with your fair right here. But you stopped and he whiffed, which would have been the perfect time for your turnaround grab, by the way. But if you wanted the fair, then you did this extra dash back for no reason. And this is part of like looking at the screen, which is like you're dashing back again, but there's no need to dash back here because if you're looking at the screen, you'd see like you can already punish him. So you were kind of just like
Yeah.
dashing back because you were like, oh, this is what I do here. I dash back. But you should be really trying to like pay attention to what's happening on the screen here instead. Kind of like the muscle memory thing. I think like
that makes sense.
A great example of like which you'll probably be able to sympathize with having played Falco for a while is like, like sometimes you'll see space animals, they'll just like they'll like whiff an aerial from pretty far away and then press shine. But which is like, why? It's
yeah,
like,
even if there's no way you would have gotten hit by it.
Yeah, you would. They aren't gonna like about to come in and then you're gonna like punish them. You're not gonna stuff them with the shine because they're really far away and you're not hitting a shield. So like, to make like your aerial safe. So like, why are we shining here? And the answer is just because like it's autopilot. It's like, oh, this is like in my fingers decided this input in training mode 3 months ago before this game happened. They just my fingers learned that shine comes after down air and I'm going to shine no matter what. And this is kind of what's happening here where you're like, oh, like I dash back and then I dash forward and I forward air. But right here, if you could have already dashed back and dashed forward and forward air, you could have turned around and grabbed. This was a decision that your muscle memory made for you long ago, and that's what you kind of need to address.
Okay, so missed it. I kept neutral getting up.
Yeah.
And it works. The problem is that sometimes when stuff works, sometimes or when it works a couple times, I'll start doing it, but then I'm not keeping aware that they just messed up their punish of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were like ready to punish it, but they messed it up or whatever. Or they're going to be ready for it next time.
And I promise all of that will come with experience as well.
Okay, and now I'm just spamming forward. This is exactly... Oh, yeah. This is exactly what I'm talking about, where when in doubt, I'm like, okay, remember freaking this move, 4 frames? Yeah. And then side get blown up. Yeah.
That was pretty tough. I thought actually you played pretty well for most of that game. I don't know like how you feel about those games, but I thought I saw you do like I felt like I saw you do like a pretty appreciable amount of like pretty decent options there. It's just like, a few things which we talked about when we were going over it, made you lose. Which is, that's just how it is. But it's better that, I think it's a good thing if it's like you just have a few things to work on at a time, no more than like 3 things at a time to work on. And then if you fix those 3 things, then you'll see like a lot improved results.
Right. Just the double jumping thing would probably save me so much stocks.
I also
think
you didn't get spot dodge as much as like you thought you did. Like you got spot dodge like once, and I actually saw you punish spot dodge a whole bunch. So that's good news. And I think you got like roll behind down smashed at the end.
Yeah, I think this one's less close. This is another one where I think it feels good in the beginning.
Like and there, you punished spot dodge. You didn't get punished.
That's true.
There. You actually do pretty well against like the weird like dumb mid tier shit.
Oh, how did they not hit? That must have been like a little hair off.
You were a little.
I guess I wasn't close enough.
You were a little bit too far to the left.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, that was a good grab by him.
Yeah, he kind of gets me. I went low for that. I feel like a lot of Dr. Mario's hills. Those remind me of Peach turnips a lot in their little arc. So I was using my Peach Willy knowledge.
Yeah.
The fair. Fair is like my only tool.
Fair's a good tool to have.
It's a good one, yeah, but I feel like it's all I like can get punishes off of right now, and so then I spam it.
Oh, you have some pretty nice recovers.
Oh, then I missed, but that's okay.
But
that was just like bad. That was just shit in the bed. Yeah, that was nothing.
So this is also some kind of something you were just talking about, where you're just
Oh,
like, whenever you don't know what's going on, you're just like, forward smash, and this is like a very common problem for Mars to have.
ooh.
Oh, two
Oh yeah,
SDs,
homie
that
stuff.
sucks. Two
Oh yeah,
SDs.
I forgot it was two SDs. That's true. That's a yikes moment, but that's okay. I guess it's like the easiest improvable thing of all.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
don't die
like,
there.
you say this was a blow up, but I'll tell you what I saw is like I saw like you had some pretty good recoveries. You like I think like in neutral you're playing like pretty reasonably, and then like you just like fucked up a recovery and you killed yourself once. So it's just not as bad as you like thought it was.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know that you thought that. I thought this was gonna be a lot worse. I thought I was gonna be cringing a lot harder, but a lot of it is like you're helping me appreciate
Oh,
like what
this is a
could
good
have
up
been.
tilt.
So.
So this is a good example of like you're like paying attention to what he's doing. He double jumped in, and then you're just like nah, and then you hit him.
Yeah, in the end, I started to remember that Dr. Mario can just get like hit, like he's just stubby, but then I wasn't capitalizing it on enough.
Mhm.
Get neutral, get up again. Oh, why am I even forward smash there?
Yeah, edge guards are like a problem for you.
For sure, for sure. I need to study some tapes for that.
Hmm. So right
Oh,
here, you went to grab the ledge late. That's why this happened. So like right after here, you down tilt him off, and then that, and then you get up, attack him, and then immediately from here, I would just turn around and grab the ledge.
right away.
Yeah, right away.
Whereas I
Because
waited
you
and got hit.
went you went too late, right? And then you got hit by double jump pill.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you meant to up tilt here. It would have worked. It would have killed him.
He kept hitting me with that stupid up B. I was like, oh, I keep missing. Kept not quite
Yeah, it's a
missing
really
that.
annoying hitbox. You
And
were just a
unfortunately,
little bit slow. So you have a lot of these spots where it's just like you're actionable, like right here. You were already actionable for a
yeah,
while,
those hell
and
frames.
then you were just like late. And you're like
Yeah,
not
I don't
ready to
tend to
act.
mash. I don't tend to like mash the option on box as much as I used to on GameCube controller. Like you might like just hold down and be pressing A there a few times. Well, I find that I don't do that and it becomes like place it here,
Yeah,
which is like can be bad.
I don't even think necessarily that you should be mashing, but just like this is a situation where you had a lot of time after you had this pill to act, and then like this down smash hits you because you were really late on your option. So I think like just becoming more crisp and trying to like move frame one at like just as early as possible, just like act whenever you're actionable, just like as quickly as possible would be really
Right.
helpful.
Hmm. Yeah, and the training's perfect for that, I guess. I don't think I take the stock, as unfortunate as that is.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Ow.
Plus, I tunnel vision. I tunnel vision into like if I can just get this forward smash. I'm guarantee you there'll be a whiff forward smash or two if I don't just die outright. Yep.
Yeah, that's just kind of how it is. If as soon as like, if this is again a really common Marth player problem, it's just like you just start as soon as you start like trying to end the stock instead of like playing the game, then that's when you start getting into real trouble. And this is why
Right.
people like talk about like like Marthritis. Marth has problems killing. It's because they're looking for kills instead of like just trying to play solid melee. A lot of times, if you just play solid melee and just try to make good decisions, then the kills will come to you. They'll come in the form of edge guards and stuff.
That's true. And even if Zane goes high percent, it seems like he still keeps the same game plan, and then he'll just up tilt then at 160, and it's like it's cool. It's
Yeah, as
fine.
soon as you like try to end the stock by like finding random forward smashes, that's usually when things start going bad.
That's true. Yeah, that's a horrible one for me. I almost got to the point where I would SD on unranked if I would forward smash, but it's a little too impractical to do because forward smash is also good. But I've just
Yeah,
been trying
it's
to
a
not
good
do it as
move.
much.
But yeah, so I would like recommend just like whenever your opponent's like at high percent, like instead of like looking for smart for forward smashes, just like look for like grabs to throw them off stage, or like look for neutral airs instead. Neutral
Yeah,
air
that makes
is
sense.
an option that will kill like similarly once they start getting a little bit higher percent, but it's it's not as laggy as forward smash. It takes, and it doesn't take as long to come out. So yeah, that's what I would look at if I were you.
Also, okay, question. If you're going to if you're going to short hop neutral air as Marth, do you always try to auto cancel it, or there are situations where you do late, like,
There are situations where you would do it late. But I mean, usually you would go for the auto cancel. But yeah, there are definitely situations where it's better to do the late neutral air and L cancel.
yeah. So like I said, if you're trying to get first hit, the acid, what is his name?
Acidics,
Acidics.
yeah. If you're like going for first hit only, or like if you think, because if like you think about neutral air hitbox is like whenever you auto cancel it, right? You jump, and then the neutral air is out, and then there's like all this space below you that it's not hitting, and then you land. So it's like this. It doesn't cover like say like if if like another Marth player is like dash attacking into you or like down tilting into you, then auto cancel nair doesn't cover that very well because it
Hmm.
doesn't cover like that grounded thing. You'll also see that a lot with like Captain Falcon Raptor boost, like where they'll like side be right underneath your nair
I
because
think I get hit by that a
because
lot. I think, yeah.
yeah, and that's like a really easy
Yeah.
one to see. But if you fast fall this neutral air and you L cancel it, you do a little later, or you fast fall your neutral air, then you can like then you can get the sword swing arc to cover like closer to the ground, and then you'll find that you'll actually hit the people trying to come in that way. So there's definitely use cases for it.
Right. Well, overall, man, I have a lot to think about. A lot of it is definitely like I think this is a good lesson in that nothing is like I don't have to like go like super analyze things. It was more of like here's a lot of really practical things. I can go rewatch this footage and be like, yeah. Like it's all just like really simple stuff, but it's like I have to actively work to not do it.
Yeah, I definitely like starting with like just simple stuff, and just like the one thing I'm going to leave you on is like leave you with like is instead is I'm going to give you a piece of advice, which is like instead of like trying to train yourself not to do things, I think trying not to do things is really hard. What you should do is like instead you should try to replace any bad muscle memory you have with good muscle memory. So like we were talking about with forward smash, like don't forward smash. Say like, oh, instead of forward smashing, I'm gonna nair or whatever.
That I like that. That's a really really good way to think about it actually.
Yeah. So then you get to like replace a bad habit with a better habit.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, overall, general takeaways was just like, yeah, that the recovery, double jumping too early because it can be such a good tool. And then the whole thing where it's like sometimes I was like setting up punishes, but then not reacting to actually getting the punish and making it happen.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and then holding forward is the obvious one.
Yeah, that's a really big one.
But I think within those things are the keys. Like just those things will be the keys to me being like significantly less bad as a player.
Yeah, I think you can get a lot of mileage just by like not by like learning how to do your stuff like retreating or in place more, as well as the recoveries. And then we can also figure out edge guards later.
Yeah, that makes
That's like a
sense.
whole big thing, and I don't want to like get tangled up in edge guarding when I think like a lot of this other stuff is gonna be like it's gonna be a lot more important right now for you to like be able to push the buttons you want to push the way you want to push them.
That's true. Yeah, well, this has been really helpful. So, I mean, I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, totally.
Doing a good thing for the scene.
If you have any questions, just hit me up on Discord or Facebook, and I'll do my best to answer. We can do another analysis if you want. Just same way, just hit me up, send me replays, and we can set up a time. I'm gonna put this on YouTube, and I'll send the VOD to you once it's uploaded.
All right. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. I guess I'll let you go. You have a good day.
You too. Peace.